Hey there, we're going to have a real conversation in the episode today. Because if you've been hovering over the Join Mindfully Well program or schedule a clarity call with Melissa, and you just haven't ever actually clicked it because you keep thinking, I just can't fail at one more thing, I need you to know something. That thought, it's not weakness, it's not giving up. It's actually your nervous system trying to protect you. And honestly, the fact that you're listening today and you're still here with me looking for answers, despite being burned by so many attempts before, it really tells me everything I need to know about your strength and your resiliency. So, before we get into the episode, Mindfully Well closes for enrollment tomorrow, September 24th. However, you can still go to the show notes today and click schedule a clarity call or click the Mindfully Well link, and you can still schedule a time with me. I have extended clarity calls through this Friday. However, you won't be able to schedule anymore after Wednesday, September 24th. But if you click it today, you can still get on my calendar and you can still join with the bonuses and the discounts. So let's get started. Okay, my friends, today we're going to talk about real failure, like actual reframing failure and what it's all about. And so you can actually understand yourself within the sense of failing. Being stuck in that fear of failure is really self-sabotage. It's like the most classic self-sabotage thing I see, especially in the wellness and the health industry. And what this really is like self-sabotage in of itself is your nervous system at work. And that's why we work so deeply on the nervous system inside my program, because you've sabotaged over and over again in the past. And if we can prevent that from happening, we need to go to the root reason why you are sabotaging, why you do have a fear of failure, and understand what is actually happening there. It's just your nervous system keeping you very safe. And you're really reframing these past attempts at feeling better in your body, however you did that with dieting, supplements, maybe with lab testing, trying different programs, working with different coaches, and yet you always get the same result, just feeling the exact same, or maybe you feel a little bit better, but then you go back to where you were. And you label this as failure. But I want you to actually think about, was this actually failure? All of this was actually just attempts. This was just the trying. All this was getting you to understand what actually doesn't work for you, what you truly want to be available for, so that you can find the right thing that actually does work for you. We don't find the right thing that works for us on the first attempt. We don't find it on the 10th attempt. And to be honest, there is actually no final destination when it comes to your health. We think that we're just going to arrive and then we're done. But health is always changing. You're always evolving, and you're always going to find new ways to fail. And if you're going to continue to put that in a box of failure, that it was a waste of time, that it was a waste of energy, it didn't give me what I wanted, then you're never actually getting what was truly meant for you, which was the learning experience that you get. Learning experiences are invaluable. There's no amount of money that actually is like gives you the amount of value that you get from an experience where whether you won or you lost, the learning event in of itself is so valuable. So I want to help you recognize when your nervous system is trying to keep you safe. And it's by not doing the thing that you actually want to do. So you'll have this desire, and maybe you're looking at the Mindfully Well program and you're like, yeah, I wish I had the answer that I knew this would work for me this time. I wish I just had total clarity. And you have this desire and you have this inkling and you have this nudge that tells you to do something or to have that you want to have something different. And sometimes this will look like scrolling social media for answers and solutions when you really just need to tune into your body and understand what's happening. So you'll have this desire, you have this inkling. I'm trying to clarify what I just said. And you're like, I want something different. And so, what this will look like is that you go outside of yourself and you try to find those answers, so the exact right thing to do, because your mind and your body will feel safer with an exact right thing to do. But the reason why you haven't actually ever achieved it is because there is no exact right thing to do from somebody else's point of view or somebody else's experience. It's actually you. And we need to tune into your body and understand what's happening with your body, not somebody else's on Instagram who has abs. That's not your body. We need to stop finding solutions from that body and find solutions from your body. We're so disconnected from our bodies that tuning in feels so unfamiliar and uncomfortable. And like, I would never get answers there anyway. But everything you actually need is within you. And if you're willing to explore your emotional body, your spirituality, your physical body, all of it together, because that is you, that entire human being that you are living in this body, you get different answers. You get clear answers. You get the answers that you actually want. But we keep looking outside of ourselves. And I want to show you that there's so much that you have accessible to you, which will give you such a better result than going out and finding what's not actually there or what's not meant for you. So, ways that we freeze. So, I want to talk specifically about the freeze response when we're talking about the nervous system today, because for one, that's a very common one that we see as women is that freeze response. Men, because they have more testosterone, naturally go into a fight or a flight response. Women go more into the freeze or the fawn response. And that's because we have less testosterone, and that's biologically created in our body, and that's how it manifests, right? That's why our energies are different. That's why we have the yin and the yang, and we have the masculine and the feminine. And us as women, we're just probably going to be more feminine in nature, and we're naturally going to ebb over into the freeze response. And so it makes sense why you want something, but you maybe don't do the things that you need to do in order to get it. That is a freeze response. So let's look at this in real time, right? Maybe you're looking at the Mindfully Well program, but you never actually schedule a clarity call. Maybe you like to join in the free stuff that I do, which I love. Please be coming to my free stuff, even if you never buy from me. But do you come to the free stuff just to make yourself feel like you're doing enough, but you never actually change anything after consuming the free stuff? So you come in and you consume the free stuff, or you sign up for it and you don't even do the free stuff, and you never actually take action from it. You never actually change from it. Consuming information, not only from me, but maybe from others without, again, any implementation, but also allowing yourself to stay in confusion, right? Staying in confusion is a classic freeze response. It is a classic, like this is nervous system dysregulation, choosing to stay in confusion. But it looks very tricky because you don't feel like you're staying in a freeze response. You think you're doing something by being confused, but you're just buffering time. You're just wasting time, so you don't actually have to do anything. You also will wait for the right time, because if you can't do it perfectly because timing isn't exactly right, then what's the point? I would waste time and energy. I just won't do it at all. And then finding lots of reasons as to why you can't actually have or do that thing that you want. Right? I'm not the person who lives in that kind of body. I'm not the person who shows up in that kind of way. I'm not the person who does well if you don't tell me exactly what to do. Right? We're already finding reasons why it's not actually available to us. But my friend, you're listening to this today, it's 150% available for you. And all of these are just very common reason or common ways that we can see ourselves within the freeze response of not creating the thing that we actually want. And you are protecting yourself by not acting. The act of creating action is very vulnerable. It puts you into a position to realize that maybe you can have it, but also maybe it's not for you. But oh my gosh, maybe you really are a failure. And all the stuff comes up that you've been kind of pushing down for a long time that you don't want to believe about yourself and you're afraid of feeling. And my friend, guess what? All of that is already there. We're not creating anything new. We're just actually processing things that are already there. And guess what? When we process them, we don't have to keep reliving the misery over and over again. And that's actually how we get to be in this body that feels really damn good. And also, that's the work we do in Mindfully Well. But this is that sense of safety, right? Like that fear is keeping you very safe by keeping you stuck where you are. Your body, your nervous system, your mind, they will always choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. So, what I do to help someone move out of that freeze response when they're actively in my program. So, let's say we recognize a pattern in you, and you're my client, and it's like you're not doing the things that we know help you feel really good. And we know that this is your nervous system keeping you safe. So we want to dive into what are you afraid of, or what is showing up for you that is a reason as to why you shouldn't do it. So we can dive a little bit deeper into it. And we start with that awareness of what is actually happening and why aren't you doing it? And we explore that. And when I can help you understand why something is happening and why you're doing this, and you can really normalize the patterns that you're doing of being a human in a human body, you're going to start to see yourself with something that you've been missing this entire time: compassion and self-love versus the what's wrong with me and the mean girl mentality. That mean girl mentality of talking down to yourself, saying, why can't you get your shit together? You're always like this. You'll always be like this. Just try harder. Maybe I just need a lot more rules. Maybe I just need a lot more structure. This mean girl mentality keeps you down. Think back to junior high. That mean girl, she kept you down, right? Did it serve her? Did it serve you? No, none of it worked. And it keeps you small. And that often feels safe, even though it sucks, right? Because you're familiarized with that. And your body knows what to expect when you're kept very small. Nobody actually wants to talk to themselves like that, but yet we do, because our nervous system feels like that is very normal. Especially if you were the junior high girl that had mean girls talking to you like that, your nervous system thinks that that's normal. It's not normal, but it thinks it's normal. So then you're going to treat yourself like that as well. And it loves normal. So what we do is, instead of taking big, giant steps to be like, let's just drastically change this and move you way out of your comfort zone into a different uncomfortable zone, is that we actually take very small steps. We think about the freeze response. I'm not moving. I'm not taking action. I'm very stuck. And we just move you into small, tangible steps, not big ones. So let's say you're thinking about joining the Mindfully Well program, but going to click to join or click to buy feels like leaping off of a 12-story building. Instead, maybe you actually go take a walk and you get some clarity by thinking about what would it actually feel like to join a program like this, and what you really want and how you want to go about getting it when it comes to living in this body. Or maybe that baby step is just clicking schedule a clarity call, because you haven't done anything besides given me and yourself 20 to 30 minutes of chatting. That's all, right? And so that is how we move out of that freeze response. You don't have to go click to buy and join today, because that can be very triggering for your nervous system. And that's why I offer clarity calls, so that we can help regulate that nervous system, help you feel calm and clear before you decide to take a leap into a program that is probably different than what you've done before. This is one small action that will just move you into that next thing. And that next thing is deciding. Is it deciding no and being completely confident in loving my decision that I decided to say no? Or is it saying yes and being completely confident in having my back that I said yes? It's okay to take baby steps. It's okay to walk down the ladder of a 12-story building instead of leaping off. That's how the nervous system actually wants to be treated. It wants you to use that ladder. And so I'm encouraging you to find ladders, not only when it comes to joining a program like mine, but use ladders in your day-to-day, and stop expecting big dramatic leaps to be the thing that you actually want. And speaking of big dramatic leaps being what you want, many times we feel very frustrated with baby steps because we think it's not enough. We want to do the right thing right now, and we want a big result right now. However, big results are also rather dysregulating. It can feel exciting in the moment. It can feel momentous in the moment, but it can also move you right back to your old patterns and behaviors. So think about this in the past. What has actually happened in your life really quickly that although it might have felt that excitement and that momentum, you actually ended up going back to where you were before that big exciting thing happened. We see that all the time with weight loss. Someone loses a whole bunch of weight and then they gain it back. Or somebody wins the lottery and then they spend all of their money. Or somebody falls in love really quickly and gets married and then all of a sudden is like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And then the marriage falls apart. And it's because they haven't actually developed the identity of the person that lives in that body that lost that weight, the identity of the person that lives in a body full of wealth in a monetary way, the person that lives in a body that is full of love and is able to give love and receive love. And if we can do actually what we do in my program, Mindfully Well, is we do this slowly over time. We build the habits that actually become maintenance. So instead of thinking about, if we're going to look at this in the term of weight loss, instead of thinking about actively looking at weight loss as the goal, we actually look at maintenance as the goal. So how do I actually maintain this forever? Because that's the thing that's actually going to get you to be where you want to be in your body, but also let it be very sustainable versus just focusing on weight loss and watching that scale go down. And then we reach a point where we're like, okay, that's good. So if you do this over longer period of time to build those habits and you actually live in maintenance, it's not confusing when you get there. It's like, oh, you've already done this. This isn't a problem. One of the biggest reasons of quote unquote failure for women in that I coach is not really the fear of failure. It's actually the fear of success because you haven't ever actually created that success long term, right? You maybe create it for a little bit, but then you go back to where you were because we don't actually develop the skill of maintenance. But if we just develop the skill of maintenance in the first place and not the skill of always actively healing or always actively losing weight, we actually don't have to fight against that anymore. And that's why inside my program, we work so much on deconditioning because you already have a lot of conditioning, which means you've already been exposed to a lot of right and wrong ways, and that you should be focused on the scale or that you should be focused on numbers. And that's all diet conditioning. And that's how you measure your success. But if we take that away and we take away the only goal of weight loss and we take away the only goal of being healed and we work on the active maintenance of both of these states, that actually is just a very natural thing that happens. It's just who you become in that process versus trying to become the person that loses weight and then becoming the person that keeps the weight off. You just become the person that keeps the weight off. That makes a lot more sense, right? It's actually a lot easier and it's sustainable and it's not a bunch of yo-yoing and it's not the diet mindset. It's not the diet conditioning that brought you there. It's actually you being who you want to be in your body, living a life that you want to live. So when it comes to nervous system and trusting that process, and instead of fighting it and instead of being in that freeze response, you actually get to start so many feelings of feelings of good in your body instead of feeling stuck, confused, frustration, and I just don't know what to do. When you're in that energy of I'm stuck, I'm confused, I don't know what to do, and you're never actually in the energy of feeling good, you're going to create more of that. Whenever energy we are in, we create more of that energy. But if we can't be in the energy of spaciousness and ease and feeling good in this body and feeling very clear, you're going to create more of that. So that's why normalizing is so helpful when you get into a group like Mindfully Well, because you're seeing others do that same work. It is so isolating to do this very vulnerable work on yourself when you're the only one doing it, because your nervous system and your body is going to scream at you that this is all wrong. You're doing it wrong. This is stupid. It's a waste of time. That's not working. But when you're held in a community and you have space to focus and actually do this work, now you've normalized everything you're feeling. And your nervous system thrives on that environment. If your environment is telling you that you're normal and that everything you're feeling is okay, now we're going to be more likely to continue to keep this going instead of stopping, which is what you've always done, right? And everything we do in Mindfully Well is rooted in the safety of the body, which is the nervous system and the mind and the spirituality, the holistic view of safety. And when your body feels safe, it really does what you want it to do. That's the whole concept of it, right? It balances your hormones, it creates energy, it helps you sleep well at night. It improves digestion. If weight loss is a goal for you, it burns body fat for fuel. It improves your metabolism. Everything that you're wanting to feel different in your body happens when your nervous system is safe and your body believes that you are safe. And we do that through sustainable yet slow practices. And over time, these results compound, and your nervous system really begins to believe that your body is in a safe environment and that your body truly is safe. So here's what I want you to consider. What if this time could be different because we're finally addressing what's actually holding you back? What if instead of another program that asks you to be perfect, check the boxes, take pictures being half naked and measurements and standing on scales and following rules and just trying harder, you found an approach that helps your body remember how to be responsive again? What if the reason you've failed before wasn't because something's wrong with you, but because you were just on the wrong map of the journey? One of the things that I really live by, and I think I've said it on the podcast before, but I know I've talked about it in different places, is that what we are looking for in life is a map to tell us exactly where to go. To tell us, go down this street and then in 600 feet, go down this road and then turn here and then turn there. But what we really want in this life and what we really need to achieve not only health in our body, but to feel good in this body and to be more of who we really are in this body is to use a compass. A compass just gives us direction. And from there, we get to navigate. And that's the whole point of this journey, is using a compass and using all the information that we have in our body to find our way there. And that's what Mindfully Well helps you do. So tomorrow is the last day to schedule your clarity call before Mindfully Well closes. If you've been waiting for a sign that you're ready to stop fighting your body and really start truly healing from the inside out, this is it. But I don't want you to think about this clarity call or this program as potential failure. I want you to think about it as a baby step. It's one small action that moves you toward what you actually want. This call isn't about convincing you of anything. It's about getting clarity on what your body and what you are actually needing. It's about understanding why everything else hasn't worked and what could be different for you this time. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I can't feel it one more thing, I totally get this. But what if this isn't about failing or succeeding? What if this is just about taking one small step toward understanding what your body needs to feel safe again, to feel more like you? Your nervous system wants you to use the ladder, not jump off the building. So scheduling a clarity call is actually just a rung on the ladder. The link to schedule is in the show notes, or you can go to my website, mindfullywell.com, and then click on the link that says Mindfully Well Program. You can also go to my Instagram. It'll be all over there. You can DM me for the link. Trust me, it won't be hard to find. So once you schedule that call, I will walk through where you are right now, where you want to be, and if Mindfully Well is the program that helps you do that. If you're not a right fit for the program, I will tell you. That doesn't help me at all to bring somebody in the program that is not the right fit. I bring people into the program that truly are the right fits and would get the result that they desire within the program. So remember, even if you decide Mindfully Well isn't right for you after our call, you still walk away with more clarity about what your body needs than what you had before. And isn't that a beautiful thing to have, right? That's not failure. That's wisdom that you get from that call. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.